Thank you for tuning in to Mastering the Math of Business with Lauren Young. As promised to our subscribers, there will be terms introduced through these series of videos that are not commonly used terms, but they're highly relevant terms. Why they're not used, I don't know. But when you hear it, it makes sense. And the term for today that we're going to peel the layers behind to appreciate the importance of this term by looking at the math associated with it is profit quality. Profit quality holds the key to making more money. It is a very effective way of measuring how well a business is performing. It turns things into what I like to call black and white. You can see how are you doing relative to plan and how are you doing relative to last year. And I've got this scale here that I like to use because the point is things are either up here or they're down here, and sometimes they're here. You know what? And when you're here, that's okay. If all you want to do is hit target or be a little better than last year. But if you're looking to do great things, then you got to be pushing into these higher levels of profit quality. And when you drop into these lower levels, that's when alarm bells should be going off and everything should be pointing to all hands on deck. We've got serious problems. So let's appreciate just a couple more things about profit quality. It's easy to measure and it's quickly confirmed. You're either better or worse than planned. You're either better or worse than last year. That's it. And so the decisions that get made without knowing how profits are performing always amazes me, because poor profit quality always has the exact same result. It causes you to make less money and it drains any cash reserves you have. Profit quality is a function of building cash. And it is a measure of how well management is doing their job. The failure to measure the quality of your profits means that cash impacting decisions are getting made in the dark, and that is never wise. So let's look at a narrative. This narrative actually involves an actual client, and their plan was $12.2 million in sales with a little over $2 million in net income. For them to realize this 18% return on sales, they need to generate 32% in gross profit while hitting their sales plan and avoid overspending on overhead so that their operating income is coming in at 21% of plan. Do those three things and they will hit their net income target. Fail to do those three things and adjustments need to be made because something's happening. And by knowing where profits are deteriorating in your P&L statement can help you isolate what needs to get fixed. Another interesting thing to appreciate is that what I like about looking at year-over-year results is it tells you whether the business is improving or deteriorating. And that to me is always good to know. And it's particularly better to know why. So poor profit quality does one thing, and this is 100% of the time this happens. It leads to poor cash flow. There is a one-to-one correlation here. So what do you need to know to be able to do the math associated with determining the quality of your profits? Well, first you got to know what you're working towards. Again, we're back to the big four numbers. You got to know what you're planning to sell and what you expect to hold on to from those sales as you drop through your P&L direct costs, indirect costs, and non-operating costs. You also need to have a sense of how are you doing relative to plan. You want to gauge how are you performing relative to plan. Are you hitting or missing sales? Are you overspending? If so, where are you overspending? Once you know those things, then you can do the math. And so here's the math. The goal is to not miss sales. It's to not overspend on any of these these costs so that you can obtain this, a 32% gross profit, 20% operating income, resulting in an 18% net income. That's how you get to that. So that's the goal. That's what your profit plan's identified. Now let's put a scenario here together to just appreciate why you want to keep an eye on your profit quality. Here in this scenario, you've got a sales miss and you've got some overspends. As you look at these overspends, the bottom line impact is $659,000 less in net income. In other words, you won't get this. What you'll get is this. And that means you will have given up 5% of sales, or $659,000. That's why you want to measure your profit quality. The call to action associated with this video really has to do with, if you struggle to extract profits from your sales, excuse me, sorry about that. If you struggle, if it's hard for you to consistently pull profits out of your sales, and that's why I like to use the word extract, because you're trying to extract out of each dollar sold profits. And in the example we just used, the goal is to extract 18 cents in bottom line profit, not 13 cents or less. And if you're having this type of trouble, then you either have one of four things happen. You either have an operations problem, you have an admin problem, you have an ownership problem, or you have some combination of the three. And if that's the case, I invite you to visit business-cpr.com. That's business-cpr.com/R6. R6 will take you to some great thinking that we've developed associated with leading and lagging metrics. Leading and lagging metrics. Because the thing about measuring profit quality based on your core operating margins of gross margin, operating income margin, and net income margin, the problem is that's always akin to looking through the rearview mirror. It's what's happened. Leading metrics will help you look ahead and predict and anticipate what's coming. And that's why if you go to the website, you can see our write-up on leading and lagging metrics and how you can put them to use to make more money and to reduce your stress. Those things go hand in hand. So as with all videos, I do thank you for tuning in. I encourage you to think about the power of measuring the quality of your profits. Have a scale to put your profits against. That's what your profit plan helps you to do. As with all videos, I welcome comments, input, suggestions. If there's anything you want to see calculated, if you want to see a business term converted into a mathematical equation so you can gauge for yourself whether this is something that's important to your business, put it on YouTube and I'll respond to it. Likes are always appreciated, as well as subscriptions. Thanks again for tuning in. Do appreciate your joining me on another edition of Mastering the Math of Business.